I know that every single one of you guys want to be awesome. I know that none of you guys want to be ordinary. None of you guys want to be average. I know that every single one of you guys have a passion and a drive, whether it's your family, your business, your job, whether it's your community, your church, that drives you to be better and to be a better person. The problem is that we sometimes feel like we're doing the status quo. We sometimes feel like that we're just spinning our wheels and there are not enough hours in the day and we don't know where to find those hours. And I know that average is not going to wake up early in the morning. Average is not going to conquer their day before the rest of the world has gotten up. Average is going to let life happen to them instead of them taking it by the horns and saying, this is what I want my life to look like. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to change some things. It's going to get uncomfortable. I'm going to be tired. I may be a little bit sore. I may have people that don't understand. I may have people that talk bad about me, but that's okay. Because I know that at the end of the day and at the end of my life, when I look back in 10 years, I do not want to say, how did I get here? So in order for us to do that, you have to change your current circumstance. And the only way that you're going to change that is if you do something different. And it's going to be hard. I remember sitting down with Matt and we were trying to figure out where the extra hours were going to come from in my day. And we looked at afternoons. Let me tell you why we chose 5 a.m. instead of 11 p.m. at night. I am normally a night owl. I love to work after everybody else has gone to sleep. The problem was I was so tired that the things that I was wanting to spend my time on and focus on, I could not do because my brain was not focusing. It would take me twice as long to do training videos and twice as long to write curriculum for things that I had been doing, twice as long to do challenge group templates than it did when I was working in the morning. And I'm not going to go through all of the statistics that I have read about why it is that your brain functions way better in the morning than it does at night. But I will say this, willpower tends to favor the morning. You have a better chance of getting up and getting yourself going and punching your day in the face and creating a life for yourself that you love and that you enjoy when you get up early. So in order for me to do that, there was 2 things that I had to do. Number 1, I had to make a sacrifice. My sacrifice was sleep. Number 2, I had to go to bed earlier. And that's what you guys are going to have to do. You're going to have to figure out where your routine is and what you're going to do in order for you to get up a little bit earlier. Now, I started off getting up at 5 a.m. I now realize that I need 2.5 hours of extra alone time for me to do what I have to do before my kids get up. Now I get up at 4. Ideally, I would love to go to bed at 9. Most nights I do. Some nights I have team calls and team trainings that I have to stay up for, but I make sure that I get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Now, I can run off of 6 hours and be fine. A lot of you guys cannot. My advice to you is to make sure that if you're going to be adding an extra hour to your morning, you go to bed an extra hour before bed. I'm not trying to get you to be Superwoman and try to do everything off of 4 hours of sleep, because that's not fair. Your body needs more than that. So make sure that when you are scheduling your time to get up, that you are going to bed at the appropriate time so that you're able to do what you need to do that morning and you are well rested. Sleep is very important. I'm not asking any of you guys to decrease your sleep. Number 1, the first reason why 5 a.m. has been a game changer for me was because there's usually not somebody that needs me to do something for them. My coaches usually don't need me at 5 a.m. My phone's not going off at 5 a.m. I don't have kids needing me to fix them a snack or bake them lunch or have them go potty. I have alone time. My husband's usually asleep. Nobody's pulling me in every single direction. I have focused time at 5 a.m. for myself, and I'm able to do things that I normally wouldn't do if I had all of these distractions. Number 2, I start my day the way that I want to instead of the way that somebody else needs me to. For instance, when I was sleeping in, my kids would come into my room and wake me up. That was basically my alarm clock. And then the demands start coming. Mom, I need food. Mom, I need changed. Mom, I need clothes. And then everybody needs me. It was all before I'd even had my morning coffee. And at that point, there was no me time. And I was frustrated and I was tired and I wanted 5 seconds to myself, but that was my fault because I allowed myself to sleep instead of getting up and having time to myself and not taking my frustration out on them. The third reason that 5 a.m. has been such a game changer for me is that I am able to bust through half of my to-do list before anybody in the house wakes up and probably before most of the world is up. That is absolutely what's going to rock your mind and change your world, is knowing what your to-do list is, seeing what has to get done, and busting through all of that stuff so that you can have the rest of the day to do whatever it is that your family needs of you. My morning routine starts at nighttime. My to-do list is written before I go to sleep at night. The to-do list is for the next day. So I have already done my brain dumping on my to-do list. That way when I wake up in the morning, I'm not having to make my to-do list and spend a bunch of time that I could be doing stuff on my to-do list, but I use that time in order for me to focus and to get those things on my list done. Because that time is borrowed time. That time is short and precious. It is not time to scroll Facebook. You did not get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to scroll Facebook. You could have been in your bed sleeping. So make sure that you are intentional with what you do. And I have noticed that when I do my to-do list the night before, that next morning, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm able to go through those immediately. Number 4, and this is the most important one, your family needs you to be selfish at 5 a.m. They're not going to probably verbalize that to you, but they know that their mom is more kind, is more loving, is soft-spoken, does not get easily angered. You may not have a hard time at work. They may see that you're more pleasant. So it is so important to remember that it's not just affecting you, it's affecting every single person that's around you. People that work with you, your husband, your spouse, all those people that are close to you. It is so important that you're selfish with your time. My husband has noticed the biggest difference in me. And it's so fun because he'll say, Jess, you have this to still do. And I'll say, no, I did it already. I did it this morning. And it's so nice to be able to say it's been done. And him not have to worry about me freaking out about it or getting, or procrastinating, because I've been able to do it, but I have not taken away time from my family. You can't be selfish with your time when it's not your time. When you're sitting there with your kids and your kids want your attention, or you're sitting there with your spouse and they want your attention, it is not okay to be selfish at that time with your time, because that isn't your time. You have to share that. So in order for you to focus on what you need to do, you have to make sure that you are selfish so that your family knows that you've put them first. The biggest takeaway I want you to take from today is I do not want you to go through the motions and look back and say, how in the world did I get here? You have the ability to change the direction of the way that your life is going. And it is so short, you guys. It is so short. So in order for you to make an impact in your life, in your family, in your community, you have got to find time for yourself. It is not okay for you to try to pour from an empty cup. And you shouldn't have to, and you shouldn't want to. You shouldn't allow yourself to. So make sure that this is just as important to you as it is any other area of your life. These are my 2 questions that I have for you today that I want you to answer, and I want you to think about. Number 1, if I were to die today, what would I regret not doing now? So if I were to be on my deathbed and to look back on my life, what would I regret not doing right now? Are those the things that you are doing right now? What is important to you? What makes you tick? What gives you passion? What do you love doing? What do you feel like you were called to do, that you were put on this earth to do? Are you doing those things right now? I want you to think about that, and I want you to answer those questions, and I'll see you guys later.